All right, what's going on, everyone? We got a big discussion to have today. I want to talk about, I want to talk about Dandadan, and I want to talk about summer anime. Excuse me. We got Eden's in the chat. What's going on, Eden's? We got Precious Okaka. Hello. How's everybody doing? We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to hop in chat. The recent season of Panty and Stalking has been really good, but the English dub doesn't hit the same. I mean, you have to understand the English dub is not going to be the same. You have to let it cook. The people they have for the English dub are good. They're good actors. They're good voice actors. From what I can tell, they love the anime. So let it steep. Don't judge it after 3 episodes. And don't hold it to the same standard as the original dub. Just as best as you can, forget that old dub and just like enjoy the new one for what it is, like standalone. Pretend like they're brand new characters. Alderamin in the Sky visually looks very similar to the final season of Attack on Titan. What is that? I've never heard of that before. Was Vinland Saga a satisfying ending? Yes, the final arc is good. The final chapter is good. I wish we saw more of the different characters in the final chapter, but thematically, it was a good final chapter for sure. A Patriots hat. Hey, we love the Patriots in this house. So if you got something to say about the Patriots, you best say it right now. Did I ever get around to Windbreaker Season 2? No, but as a matter of fact, I'll probably start that tonight. I was sitting in front of my TV last night and I was like, man, I need something to watch. But I couldn't think of anything, even though I had it. I need to be better about like making a list and then sticking to that list of shows anyway, not manga. Manga I'm pretty good about. I kind of miss Funimation when it was standalone. Yeah, I understand the sentiment behind that. Crunchyroll is in an interesting situation now because they have the best legal anime streaming library because they joined together with Funimation. They're owned by Sony. The issue is they now have to compete with Netflix. And I have a video coming up on this. Excuse me. I have a video about this that I'll upload soon. Ugh. Ugh. I have a video on Netflix versus Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's issue is it's just anime, and it's kind of expensive. Well, sort of. Netflix is more expensive, but you get more stuff. You don't get as many anime. Excuse me. But you have the luxury of, like, you can watch Breaking Bad, and then if you get sick of Breaking Bad, you can go watch Pokemon, you can go watch Dragon Ball, you can go watch whatever. So, it's going to be interesting to watch the next 2 to 5 years and see how Netflix tries to take up more of the market. Because right now, at least 50% of Netflix is, or excuse me, at least 50% of Netflix viewers watch anime. So I don't think Crunchyroll is going anywhere anytime soon, but it is going to start losing viewership from people who normally just use it to watch like 5 shows, but now they can just watch those shows on Netflix. So why would they keep paying for Crunchyroll? We got Justin in chat. What's going on, Justin? We got Leanne. What's going on, Leanne? Pleasure to have you. What manga gets unnecessary hate? Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi. It is not perfect, and it's got some growing pains, but like, people just want to hate that series. Even if it was like a perfect 10 out of 10, people would find a reason for that. But people on X/Twitter are like worse than Jump. Like, they want to make more cuts than the people over at Shueisha. It's crazy. Anyway, so let's go ahead. I want to talk about the summer anime afterwards, but I want to start by reviewing the Dandadan chapter. So as usual, this is our Dandadan weekly stream, weekly review. If for some reason you're not caught up to Dandadan, then you might want to peace out. But let's talk about Dandadan chapter 204. Unfortunately, I did get a little spoiled by sort of the bot accounts on Twitter. Happens to the best of us. Although I don't know really what happens. I've just seen some panels. So Evil Eye enters the temple. He walks up to the smoke yokai, literally stomping on Seiko. Seiko is done for. She's all done. So Evil Eye walks in Evil Eye fashion. He finds it hilarious that Seiko is getting the shit knocked out of her. He calls her Big Strong Seiko, which is to say, even a character as strong as Evil Eye respects and acknowledges the strength of Seiko. So something to, you know, for all of our many Dandadan power scalers out there, something to keep in mind when we're talking about like who's the strongest character in Dandadan. As soon as the smoke yokai says he's gonna take Evil Eye's power, he gets kicked, gets sent flying, supposedly, and then saves Seiko. So he takes off all his clothes. Well, he takes off his shirt. He leaves his pants on, which is a nice touch. Now remember, he doesn't have all of his powers because he's not wearing the evil underwear. So he is handicapped, so to speak, in this fight. Yeah, I might look it up. Alderamine in the sky. I'll definitely look into that. Drink suspiciously apple-shaped coffee? No, it is Blizzard World. So obviously Blizzard, the gaming company. Obviously it's like World of Warcraft themed because it's got the Murloc, but specifically it is IRL merchandise of the fake Blizzard theme park that they made a map of in Overwatch. If you haven't noticed, I really like World of Warcraft. Blizzard, they're okay. Used to be better. So anyway, Evil Eye engages the Smoke Yokai. The Smoke Yokai, again, is bowing. So maybe this is either a ritual he does, or it's some kind of technique based, rooted in his abilities. That's so many layers. Listen, anime YouTubers are like onions. They have layers. Bro, he did the Evil Eye on Evil Eye. He did the Evil Eye kick. Remember way back in the Evil Eye arc, Evil Eye did the like 180 kick where he does like a perfect standing kick. Well, Smoke Yokai just did that to Evil Eye, so he's starting strong. He elbows him in the gut, judo flips him on his head. Now he says Marlbow. Marlbow row. Red Marl. Marlmet. So now I know these are all cigarette brands or types of cigarettes. So obviously they can't say Marlboro in the official English translation, but Marlboro Red, Marlboro is menthol, Marlboro Gold. Those are all types of Marlboro cigarettes. So maybe the thing he said last week was some kind of cigarette I've never heard of. I'd have to go back and look. But what did he say before? Yeah, because he says Marlboro, right? He says it in 2 words. It says red Marl, Marl Menth, Marl Gold. Yeah, so these are all types of Marlboro cigarettes. So it ties into his smoke powers, which is a little more obvious than whatever he said last week. Next attack, he's hitting the jewel. Well, that's not smoke. That's technically vapor. So that gets into like water versus smoke. But yeah, I guess so. Maybe his next attack is Kush. Chronic. So he kicks the shit out of Evil Eye. He says he's hardly a warrior. Evil Eye gets back up. He's a little damaged, but nothing crazy. He makes a comment about the Smoke Yokai that I'm not going to repeat. Something about his family jewels. He punches the Smoke Yokai, but he says, no matter how impressive your physicality, you cannot inflict damage upon smoke. So he keeps punching him. Evil Eye's pissed off. He's like, this is bullshit. He says, I am known as the Red Baron. He says, you have power, but I am stronger. Since you are weaker than me, please accept your defeat. So GG swaps in, says hi. He literally just swaps in to say hi. That name being Baron could mean Jermaine is an endgame since he's only Count and there are higher ranks. It could be. I I feel like the fact that the Red Baron is out on a mission and Count Saint Germain isn't implies that he serves him, but I like the idea you're going with. Although I wonder if Red Baron is just a type of cigarette. Excuse me. Yeah, there is technically a brand of cigarettes called Red Baron or Baron Red. So, I think it's supposed to be doing two things. One, the like regal thing ties him to Count Saint Germain, but it's also like mostly just like a cigarette thing. Because they can't call him the Marlboro Man, so they're going to call him the Red Baron. Also, of course, Red Baron was, in fact, a historical figure like Count Saint Germain. Red Baron was a World War I ace, exactly. Explain how Toru is the worst villain in JoJo. I don't think he's the worst villain. I don't know. I feel like it's between him and the priest from Stone Ocean. Although I like the priest from Stone Ocean. I don't know. It's tough. The part, what was it? JoJo Leon was a very different part. So you have to give it props for that. Excuse me. He says, if you suffer my attacks in your flesh and blood state, you will die. So he swaps out so he can do his, I forget what it says, his spirit attack. So he bows to him again. So we have 3 times now, whenever the Red Baron fights someone, even different personalities, he religiously bows before he fights them. So that could be a cultural thing. That could be a quirk of his. It could be tied to his abilities. I have no idea. So he uses the, I forget what it's called, but he uses the tri-beam on the Red Baron, and it actually lands damage, which makes sense because he has spirit powers, so of course it would work on a like a yokai, right? GG stocks are up. Yeah, this is definitely a pro GG chapter for sure. As much as I wasn't expecting it, this is definitely a chapter that shows that GG is a lot more useful than people such as myself would say of him. Funny how this smoke yokai is attacking their lungs and junk. So let's look, if we go back to the flurry of attacks. Yeah, he hits him in the junk repeatedly. He also did like a JoJo attack flurry where he just said gold over and over again. What is gold in Japanese? I'm trying to think. What's the word gold in? Kin. So the only play on words I can think of is that he's punching him in his family jewels, and he's saying gold, and the translation to Japanese is kin. So he's punching him in his kin tama, and he's saying kin over and over again. So maybe that's why he's punching him in the kintama over and over again. This is a very One Piece-esque villain. He's very pun-tensional, I guess is the way to put it. Don't smoke, kids. Unless you want to be a really cool smoke yokai. Maybe I should just start practicing smoke ninjutsu and call myself the Red Baron. I do want to figure out what he said in the last chapter. So this was a good chapter. It did kind of put a ceiling on Evil Eye as far as power scaling. And it did sort of give a nice boost to GG. But I want to look up. So he said, I think he said Seta. His attack, he said, was Seta. Yeah, Seta. I wonder if that's a brand of cigarettes. No. I still don't know for sure. Oh, so I was right. So in Japan, 7 Stars is a brand of cigarettes produced by Japan Tobacco. It's called Seibun Suta, which I'm assuming is commonly abbreviated to Seta. So all of his attacks seem to be named after cigarettes. I do have to say, I'm a little disappointed that none of his attacks... well, I guess I'll put it this way. I hope that one of his attacks is like weed themed, right? Like Kush or Chronic. Or like, I really hope they sneak a Snoop Dogg reference in there. Because if we're going to do like literal smoking references, I mean, come on. It's either between Snoop Dogg or Willie Nelson. So we got to put somebody in there, right? Or like he could do a punch and it's called Lucky Strike. What a weird scheme or theme for attack names. Like, it makes perfect sense, but like, how many characters have an entire school of attacks where all the attacks are just named after cigarettes? Like, even Sanji, who was like the poster child for smoking anime characters, none of his attacks are named after smoking or cigarettes. They're all like fire themed. Maybe only GG can hit him because he's pure of heart. Seiko hiding some dirty laundry. I think it's more of a, excuse me, spirit energy thing. Because Seiko can't project spirit energy. She can get powers from local yokai or gods. But she can't project spirit energy like Gigi and Momo can. They will be constantly switching in the next chapter. Evil Eye tanking hits and GG for offense. That would be peak GG, honestly. Like, just constantly switching between modes. Because usually it's just one or the other. Up until now, at least. So yeah, overall a good chapter. I am curious to find out what this character's connection is to count Saint Germain, but we'll just have to wait and see. Besides that, I do want to talk about the summer anime season. So if we go to live charts, which tends to be the more reliable source for seasonal anime, does it really not have new panty and stocking on here? No, it doesn't. So in that case, I'm going to pull it up. Summer. Yeah, new panty and stocking is fairly low. It's like just behind Rent a Girlfriend season 4. So Mal and live charts are pretty in sync, but I'll go by live charts. So we have Dandadan in the lead, then My Dress Up Darling, which is definitely popular right now, but nobody's really talking about it. Kaiju number 8 has 2 episodes out, and it's number 3, so that's a good sign. Fragrant Flower is locked in Netflix jail, which we have not seen in a while, but even then it's like the 3rd or 4th. What is it on Mal? Yeah, it's number 4 on Mal as well. It's the 4th most popular seasonal anime right now. That's a really good sign, and I was talking to Edens about this because he's a big fan of it. I'm kind of expecting it to see somewhat of a boost once it finally gets released on Netflix for the rest of the world, because it's pretty handicapped compared to literally everything else. Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days, right? Still streaming? Or is it locked? Not sure, but Sakamoto Days is number 6. Gachi Akata is up there. It's in the top 10, but it's definitely slower than what a lot of people were expecting, or not as hype as people were expecting. I low-key kind of expected this because the beginning of Gachi Akata is pretty slow and it doesn't have like hype moments. It's a lot of fleshing out the characters. But I think it'll pick up next month, hopefully. Dr. Stone is hanging in there, but it's like in the middle. Togen Anki is one that is getting talked about and it's getting pushed, but it's also like in the middle. Panty and Stocking is clearly only popular with Panty and Stocking fans, but of those people, all of them seem to be watching it, so that's a good sign. I do think the first 2 episodes were really, really good, and the 3rd episode was kind of dumb. I liked the beginning of it, but other than that, the 3rd episode was not as good as the first 2, which is typical of Panty and Stocking. It has its peaks and valleys, but considering it's still relevant and right in there with Rent a Girlfriend, I would say that's a W for the first 3 weeks. Justice for Fragrant. Yeah, exactly. I sincerely hope that, so what's it getting, like 12 episodes? So I hope July, August, by like the end of September, maybe October, we see like a nice boost for Fragrant Flower. Do you think the next Dandadan chapter will be a big reveal? It's always possible. I don't really know what to expect. Do you think Crunchyroll will collapse within the next 5 years and be bought by Netflix? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think Netflix would buy Crunchyroll because Sony owns it, and I don't see Sony really selling it. That being said, I do think there's going to be sort of a battle fought over anime originals. Because right now, Netflix is getting more of them, but it still doesn't have nearly as many of originals as Crunchyroll does. But I think that's going to change following what they did with One Piece. Because now you can watch new episodes of One Piece on Netflix. I have not watched Topoki's Original Sin. Everyone keeps talking about it, but it looks okay, I guess. It has a certain vibe, and I'm just like, it looks all right. Yeah. Honestly, this summer season is still good, but I don't think it's nearly as hype as I thought it was going to be. Although it's early. Usually the defining moments of a season come either halfway in the peaks of seasons or at the very end. So we'll see. I'm not sure the season is very weird. There's a lot of variables to consider. It has high ratings. Yeah, I'll check it out. Everyone keeps talking about it. I think it looks all right, but I'll have to check it out. Yeah, exactly. Let it cook. There's a lot of potential for this season. To Be Hero X, I checked out the first episode. I was not crazy about it. I don't like the animation, and I don't really like the characters. I might give it a second chance, but just based off of the first episode, I'm not really in a rush to continue watching it. Yeah, depending on what you're into, I mean, this is a perfect season for me because besides Call of the Night, I love all of the top anime. Kaiju number 8 is fairly rated because it's very popular, so it deserves to be praised. But I think following the ending chapter, everyone kind of realized the series is not that good. And I think everyone kind of realized that halfway through. Even the people who like Kaiju number 8 would not say it is the best thing they've seen. What do I think about Cyberpunk Season 2? I think Season 2 is going to be really good. I mean, it's Trigger. They know what they're doing. And they already struck gold once with Season 1. I do think people are going to hate on it just because it's a sequel. And they're going to be like, yeah, but it's not exactly the same. It's not exactly what I was expecting. So it's bad. And it's like, let them cook. That being said, Studio Trigger is one of those studios that recently just continues to get better and better. So I have pretty high expectations for Season 2. Yeah, they announced within the last month or so, they said they're going to make a sequel to Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And Season 2 will be a separate story from season 1. So it'll be in the same universe, possibly connect to season 1, but it won't just be a continuation. It'll be like its own story. Do you think we'll get Dandadan live action? Honestly, I think it's only a matter of time until they do that, especially because it's so popular on Netflix. I just don't know how they're going to do that, because I feel like it's going to be really hard to animate the monsters and have them look good. But they're also supposedly doing it for Solo Leveling, so if they can do it for a series like Solo Leveling, I feel like they can definitely do it for Dandadan. Is Family Guy an anime? No, although Mike Judge, the creator of King of the Hill, recently just said that King of the Hill is an anime, because people kept saying King of the Hill is an anime. Yeah. I have a video saying how anime is kind of a medium and not just a location thing, but people are really taking it out of hands. Studio Trigger did not... Did Studio Trigger work on Dress Up Darling Season 2? That's the first I'm hearing of it. Solo Leveling is ass, overrated. It is slightly overrated just because of the Crunchyroll awards, but I love Solo Leveling. If you're, you know, if you're looking for a psychological anime, then it's not for you, but if you just want to watch a constant hype train, Solo Leveling is the show for you. Yeah, honestly, that's really all I have to say today. I wish I had more to say, but the Dandadan chapter was pretty straightforward. Yeah, Solo Leveling is overrated. I can barely name 5 characters. Yeah, I mean, that is one criticism, but Jingwoo is really all you have to remember. So yeah, I hate to cut things short, but I really don't have too much else to add. That's going to be it for today. Excuse me. So we'll stream Thursday. Thursday will be... Maybe we'll do another Dragon Ball stream because everyone really liked that one. Hot take, not everything has to be good to be good. That panels the screen. Interesting. How you feel about that Ichi chapter? We didn't really talk about it. Oh, Ichi the Witch had a 10 out of 10 chapter. Red shirt next week? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Ichi the Witch was really good, and I'm excited for the upcoming arc. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's stream. We'll stream Thursday. Maybe we'll do a Dragon Ball stream. Look out for a video tomorrow. And then yeah, that's it for July. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for a great stream. I will